Hey everyone, it's Brett from Hope to Prosper, and I'm going to take you along with me on my Great Lakes trip. Man, I had a wonderful time. It was very ambitious. I covered a lot of ground, saw a lot of stuff, met some people along the way, and just had a really good time. So anyways, I hope you enjoy it, and like I said, I'm going to bring you along. So the way I got the idea for this trip is I've been taking big sections of the country and road tripping them. Because I want to cover all 50 states, but I want to cover them. I don't want to just drive through and say, hey, I've been to Indiana or whatever. So I created a big road trip. I've done the Great Plains. I've done the New England road trip. I've done the Southwest road trip. I've done the Big Sky road trip with Montana and all that. So I do all these big road trips. I love them. And this one was the Great Lakes road trip. And I decided to do this about 3 years ago. I got the idea with a buddy of mine. We had done the New England road trip together. And then I said, hey, in 2 years, let's do the Great Lakes. And his name is Rob. He's passed away now. And he is the one who had the idea to film all the lighthouses in northern Michigan. So anyways, I went on this road trip by myself. I kind of soloed it. Like I said, I met some people along the way, but just had a blast. So I'm taking you along with me. I hope you enjoy it. And just let me know if you have any questions or comments or if you've seen any of these places and what your input is. Oh, I almost forgot. So this is just an intro video. What I plan to do is I plan to do 6 small videos. I don't want to do an hour-long video. Nobody wants that, and it's a nightmare to edit. So I'm going to create 6 videos in short order that cover each section of this trip, and so I'll list those out here for you. We're going to do the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame video with Buzz. We're going to do the Cuyahoga hike, and then we're going to do the Football Hall of Fame, and then we're going to do the Indiana Dunes hike. Then we're going to do the lighthouses of Michigan. That's going to be a fun trip. And then finally, we're going to do Niagara Falls. Okay. Thanks for coming along. I hope you enjoy all this stuff. Okay, so I flew into Rochester. I wanted to fly into Syracuse, but Southwest doesn't fly there. So I flew into Rochester, spent the night, and then I got up the next morning, and I drove into Cleveland, Ohio, to visit Buzz. Me and Buzz went to, Buzz from Buzz's Retirement Garage, went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was a fun day. Then the next morning, I got up, and I drove down to Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and I hiked in Cuyahoga over to Brandywine Falls and up and down the towpath. It was awesome. Then I went down to Canton for the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and then I drove all the way over to Michigan City, Indiana, and that was a long day. It was fun, though. And the next morning, I got up, and I went to Indiana Dunes National Park. That was a lot of fun, very pretty hiking. And then I drove over to Appleton, Wisconsin, where I spent the night. And I did some Wisconsin stuff. I had a schnitzel, some cheese curds. It was good. Then the next morning, I went to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. Check that out. And then I drove all the way around the Upper Peninsula. It was a long day, but it was pretty, and it was a beautiful drive. And then I went to Petoskey, Michigan. And Petoskey, Michigan, I stayed 2 days there. One just to recover, and then the other one, I photographed all the lighthouses, the Petoskey Lighthouse, the Charlevoix Lighthouse, the lighthouses down in Grand Traverse Bay or Traverse City, and then also down all the way down to Frankfurt. And so that was a big day. And then the next morning, I got up and I drove down to Port Huron, and I photographed the Gradio Lighthouse. After that, instead of going down through Detroit and all that, I cut across through London, and I stayed a night in Hamilton, Ontario. Well, that was a lot of fun. They had a street fair going on. It was a blast. So after I spent the night in Hamilton, I got up, I woke up, and I went to Buffalo, and I went to the falls, Niagara Falls, on the Canadian side. Then I went through Buffalo, and I went back to Syracuse and spent the night with my buddy Rob's brother and sister-in-law. And then after that, after Syracuse, I drove to Rochester and flew back home. It was a long trip. So finally, I want to tell you a little bit about my buddy Rob. We're supposed to go on this trip together. These are pictures from our New England trip 3 years ago. It's one of the first videos I made. It's a horrible video, but man, we had a blast. So anyways, I met Rob at my first tech job way back in the 80s. And we hired him on as a tech, and I trained him, and we've been good friends ever since. So we had planned to go on this trip last year, and then he got sick again, and then we just put it off a year, and we were all excited planning for it in April, and then he got wrangled into the hospital and didn't make it out. So anyways, this trip's in his honor, and I wish he could have came along.